Hey everyone, this is Jason Probst, that guy in Hutch, and for this week's That Podcast in Hutch, I thought I'd do a little video to kind of talk about what we're doing. Uh, you know, when I came to Topeka for session, I had been into doing the podcast for I think about 3 months at that point, and I really wanted to keep it going, and I am, but it's turning out to be a little harder than I expected. I knew it would be hard, but it's turned out to be a lot harder than I expected to get people scheduled and to work out everyone's schedule to carve out an hour or so to sit down and record an interview. So we've kind of struggled to keep the content going this first part of the session. And in there somewhere, I had some friends who said, you know, there's a guest I'd really like you to have on your podcast. And when I said, well, who's that? They said, you. And I've resisted that for a little bit, but between some of the scheduling issues and the time restraints and enough of their encouragement to do it, I thought I'd go ahead and do it. So last weekend, we carved out some time and my friend Jackson sat down and interviewed me. We actually went on long enough that we're going to break that into 2 parts. And we've had conversations that, if you guys are interested in this and people want to hear about me, I prefer to ask other people about them because I know everything about me and I'd like to learn about other people. But if you guys are interested in this, we could do this on a semi-regular basis. We could take a topic and I could have somebody sit down and interview me and I could kind of share some insights and things about, I guess, my experiences and how it shapes my view of the world on things. But for this episode, we're going to talk about some of my young Jason and early life and educational experiences. And then later on, we move into more of the work experience and adult life. And like I said, if you guys enjoy this sort of thing, let me know and we'll try to keep that going. Also, I'm always wanting ideas on who I should talk to. I've got a number of people up here that I'm working on currently to bring in, but I always want to know who you want to hear about, who you want to learn about. And some of you have sent me ideas and I'll get those scheduled. But for this one, it made me a little uncomfortable to be on the other side of the microphone. I've never had an issue asking people about themselves. It's a little harder for me to be on the other side of it and have somebody ask me questions and be a little bit vulnerable in answering those questions. So to everybody I have had on, I have to say I really appreciate your willingness to sit down and visit with me and let me ask you a lot of questions, and some of them uncomfortable. So, but I think that's how we learn about each other, right? And that's how we understand that we do have, a lot of us, some shared experiences, and we can kind of move together in the world as we better understand our stories. So here's this week's episode of That Podcast in Hutch. I'm going to get to work, and I hope you all have a good week. Stay safe and drive carefully out there in the snow.